Ladies and gentlemen, we stand here before you today to address a contentious statement. The idea that should Australia be allowed to accept the so-called, in fact, be forced to accept the so-called boat people as migrants into their country. Now this is an issue we shall address in three key points. Firstly, the value of life. Secondly, issues with the productivity of these people in a Western-style economy, before finally looking at the moral obligation that I believe is inherent within any state. So, to our first point, the value of life. I would ask you to imagine that you are the head of a family that has suffered years of oppression, born into poverty. You have spent your life's savings, years and years of saving, and trusted them in strange people. To be clustered onto a boat in the middle of the night, 40 to 50 others in the exact same situation as yours, ready to embark upon a journey that you don't know if you're going to come out of alive. A journey for the sake of your entire family's survival, your children, the people you love the most. Who are we to turn these people away? Now these are the same steps, same brave steps that over 18,000 migrants will take in the course of the next year, trying to go from the Asian continent to Australia. According to Tony Abbott, Prime Minister of Australia, these lives aren't worth the risk. A man whose government has shown already to be homophobic, to be misogynistic in its addressing of former Prime Minister Julia Gillard, that has received international condemnation for the brutal so-called internment camps that they give to people trying to seek asylum. Now, in the Declaration of Human Rights, it is clearly stated in its very mission statement to set out a set of guidelines in order to create a fair world for all peoples. Tony Abbott claims, word for word, that Australia is at the forefront of westernised liberalism. It must therefore fall that Tony Abbott does not see these migrants as people, if he is truly willing to turn them away, to endanger their lives. And so, some bring us to our second point of economics, who claim that these migrants make the Australian economy unproductive, that it puts a strain on the taxpayer, an affront to decent Australians, and most importantly, their wallets. In the words of one Conservative Member of Parliament, this would be nothing more than the theft of labour. Now, putting aside the ignorance in the idea that someone is entitled to own a job because of where they're from, these statistics, these ideas are clearly shown not to stand up. The IISPSC has clearly shown that immigration into Australia would create more jobs. Figures from The Guardian have shown that if Tony Abbott reaches his target of lowering immigration, it would mean he has to raise approximately £30 billion more in taxes. The IISPSC has also shown that these people don't come to take jobs. They do jobs. They do the jobs that no nice, wealthy, privately insured Australian is expected to do. They are integral to the entire nature of an Australian society. Nothing more, ladies and gentlemen. This shows nothing more than thinly veiled racism. That's what it is. The economics don't stand up. The logic doesn't stand up. All this shows is a disgusting attitude to others because of where they come from. And this leads us to what I believe to be the key point of the argument, and that's a moral obligation. A moral obligation that doesn't have borders. One which is intrinsic, I believe, to any civilised government. We've already talked of an issue of value. Who are you to put the value on a life? The value on the lives of an entire family. A life of trying to escape oppression. A life that previously has been considered as no better than that of a beaten mule. And I tell you what, if that was a Western life, it would be dealt with in a shot. If that was an Australian life, there would be a diplomatic incident about one individual. We're talking about the instance of 18,000 people a year, at least, and the oppression of them. So I ask you, when did equality come about the colour of your skin? How is it that so-called protecting a culture from other people coming in, who, by the way, enrich that culture and allow it to evolve. How does drawing a line in the sand about equality make sense? So to anyone who claims that we should send these people away, to protect Australia, I say, how dare you? How dare you suggest that in a country as wealthy, as able to evolve using these people as Australia, send these people away because of blatant ignorance? We've shown clearly there are economic benefits to accepting these people. We've shown that effectively turning them away will be to devalue a human life above the wallet of a taxpayer. And finally, we've shown that it is our moral duty to accept these people into Australia.